Okay, so what we not gonna do is act like M3GAN wasn't a way better parent than Gemma. A little tweak here and there, M3GAN could have been mother/parent of the year. Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss M3GAN. Now, this is a brand new horror movie available in theaters, and it stars Allison Williams and McGraw. Now, before we get into all things Chucky but make it twerk, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss. I went into this movie with extremely low expectations, and I'm happy to say that I enjoyed this movie.
Go back.
Now that you guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me, let's get into this movie. Now, this movie was brought to us by Akela Cooper and James Wan. I'm sure you guys are extremely familiar with James Wan. He has brought us the likes of the Saw franchise, the Conjuring franchise, so many other films along with the Insidious franchise. Akela Cooper and James Wan have just recently worked together on the movie *MaliGNANT*, which wasn't perfect, but I really appreciated the new monster and the callbacks to traditional horror. This is also brought to us by Blumhouse, which could also be a hit or miss. Sometimes we get great things like Split, Black Phone, Us, and Get Out. Other times we get movies like Truth or Dare, Firestarter, Halloween Ends, and Black Christmas. I am so glad that this was not one of those times. Now, getting into some of the things that I liked about this movie, we have had so many movies about dolls. Whether it's the Chucky Child's Play films, The Boy, Annabelle, all of the countless doll movies from the 80s, The Puppet Master, this was a nice way to revamp it and give us something new, outside of a doll just simply being possessed. Now, we did kind of get something like this with the 2019 Child's Play remake. Though it was a solid effort, it was really hard to swallow from Chucky Child's Play diehard fans, with the character and the doll being so synonymous with just simply being possessed by Charles Lee Ray, who is simply trapped inside of this doll's body. You know what I'm saying? We have known this for years, but it works really well here when we get the new character of M3GAN, and we get that dollness, but we also get that hint of technology. 2001's A Space Odyssey, The Terminator, Her, I, Robot. Is this movie as good as those movies? Absolutely not. But I do like that they revamped the story and gave us something other than just simply a spooky doll. And I also like that this movie speaks to where we are as a people with AI and technology. We are coming from a space of smartphones, echoes, smart houses, metaverses, virtual reality, all of these things that are supposed to make life easier. But at the same time, us as a people, we are relinquishing all of this power to something that is a machine. Scary. Now, why anybody would want a life-size, lifelike robot in their home is beyond me. But we start off this movie really strong, in my opinion. I do wish that we could have gotten a little bit more time with the parents. We, directly jump into that car accident, and we have the daughter, Katie, deal with, how she feels about losing her parents. But I did like the idea of one parent not really caring so much of Katie diving into technology. I really wish we could have dived into that just a little bit more, but I really do like the character of Gemma and how flawed she is, and the relationship that she has with her niece in comparison to who she is at work as a robotist. Katie's aunt could give two fucks about her. Like, like all of a sudden your parents die and I am expected to be an instant mother. She is clearly about her job as a robotics, you know, coming up with the next new thing. Not only, you know, great toys, but she wants to be, you know, that epitome as far as toy makers. I don't want to simply put out something that can be replicated. I want to put out something that's just so advanced tech-wise that not only can it not be duplicated, but it will put me and my brilliance as a robotics on full display. But where does that leave my niece, and where does that leave something like M3GAN? Now, what I love here the most about M3GAN is just not only what she represents as a character here, as AI, as that intelligence, but just her as a whole. She's not only a robot, but the humanized part that we get of her, all of the jokes, the one-liners, when we have the looks and she's like, really, that's what we're doing? That's where we are? Like, girl, come on. Like, I love the human elements of M3GAN. Her capabilities to show us as an audience that it is only a matter of time until, you know, hey, M3GAN, you see this pen, M3GAN deactivate, M3GAN sleep. It's not going to work, and she is going to have full control. As to say she maybe didn't have full control from the very beginning. I like in the beginning where we have her still in that tech phase and she does that little smirk when the friend tries to take the skin off of her face. Like, it was always hints that M3GAN was gonna pop off. I also really enjoyed the design and the look of M3GAN as a doll. She almost looks like those throwback porcelain dolls, especially when we used to get those old 80s evil porcelain doll movies. She looks like that. And I also really appreciated the choice of making M3GAN life size. M3GAN is about the size of an actual human child. We have had countless movies where we are supposed to just disband all disbelief and we have a doll about this size taking down people. So I really thought it was a smart choice to make her almost the same size as Katie. I also really appreciated the dancing along with the one-liners for the comedy from M3GAN. When M3GAN hit that boom, bam, ow, let's take some calls from the request line. Caller number one, hitting that my goodie. She was about to hit the daddy stroke and the Quan all at the same time. I love that. I really wish that we could have incorporated that a little bit more, or really give us a reason for M3GAN to just bust out into song. Like, M3GAN just bust out, shoot me down, I won't fall. Like, she just popped out with titanium, popped out with the dance moves. I wish we could have wrapped that into her relationship with Katie, and maybe these were things that they were doing together. So it's, you know, more so learned behavior outside of her just knowing this through tech. Like, she just popped out and it was twerk down. But I love that. And lastly, I love the trope that we always get when we have a movie where AI is trying to take over. We have M3GAN turn everything on its head as far as humanity. You know, no lies were told. All of the things that M3GAN said to justify why, outside of, you know, caring for Katie and being her companion, it's okay for me to catch a few bodies. Y'all don't love each other anyway. Like, I love the justification along with how smart and calculated M3GAN was. You know, although she is AI, the smart is a given, but the way that she got into the end with the character of Kirk trying to, you know, well, murdering David as well as Kirk and connecting it to make it look like a setup with the murder. I thought that was such a smart choice to display not only her capability, but just how much information she knew and how connected she was to the system. And lastly, I love how we had M3GAN literally like do callbacks, because I don't care what nobody say, those were callbacks. When, first of all, I didn't know where we were going. I had to be reminded that this was PG-13. When the little badass little boy straddled M3GAN in the woods, I didn't know what was happening. Took off her shoe and straddled her. I was like, I'm with my kids. But I love those moments where she just turned into the predator. I was like, I know the predator when I see it. Like, it was really giving me predator vibes in the woods. I love the callbacks to that, as well as the very ending where we have M3GAN turn into the goddamn T-1000, damn near indestructible, when they are trying to kill her. But even with all of those things mixed together, my favorite part of this movie was definitely Gemma and the relationship that she had with Katie. For all of 2 seconds, you could not tell me that M3GAN wasn't the villain and that she was maybe going to be the savior in this movie. Gemma as a character, as, you know, a surrogate mother, her character as a whole, and how she decided to use her niece's grief for profit to not only advance in position and status, but to save the toy company. But she continues to relinquish all of the responsibility that she is supposed to have for for Katie to MǳGAN, repeatedly placing Katie on the back burner, not taking any responsibility or any fault when things happen to Katie, like her being attacked by the dog, as well as MǳGAN, when she could simply patch up the hole, and point blank bottom line, she was not there. Gemma is so preoccupied with herself that she continues to leave Katie with MǳGAN when she knows deep down that MājGAN has caught bodies. Like, girl, how much more proof do you need? Do you need MājGAN to shoot a cat on y'all porch in your face? Like, she could have caught bodies. Not only that, but prior to that, Katie has more of a bond with MājGAN to the point that she respects her more and she has more control over her. But we overlook the attachment issues, the incident with the bully, partially the incident with the dog and the neighbor, just so we don't have to care for her. For the better part of this movie, Katie is simply for profit. We are profiting off of Katie's pain, and she is used as a test subject before MājGAN is put on shelves for millions. That whole commercial and advertisement of her talking about the parents' death, and then the mogul comes in, it's just like, yeah, for only $10,000, MājGAN can be yours, and you don't need dead parents. Like, for the better part of this movie, Gemma is the fucking villain. Like, I didn't know which way that this movie was going, and I really enjoyed the whole thing of her being that way, because at a certain point I didn't know how we were going to redeem her character in such a short amount of time. Speaking of that, let's get into the few things that I did not like about this movie. Now, for one, I really wish that this movie was rated R. I really wanted some blood. I wanted some blood, I wanted some gore, I wanted some guts, and we could only go so far with the PG-13 rating. I feel like the kills would have stuck a little better if we could have went, real, child's play Chucky for it, like slash them throats, like I want to see some murder, death, kills, but we couldn't do that with the rating. Also, speaking of the murders not sticking, like outside of the neighbor, I did enjoy, the conflict with the neighbor, but all of the surrounding characters, they just held no weight. I didn't care about anybody. The team that was, the tech team that was working on MājGAN, the boss, they all felt really shallow, really one-dimensional. And I really wish we could have, did a little bit more with them. Like, I didn't care about anybody. I almost wanted them to die so we could get, a few more kills. Like, especially when we get into the boss, David, his lines, the delivery, the way he was acting, the over the topness. Like, some of his lines really felt like he was just doing them on the fly and he wasn't reading from a script. Like, I just didn't like it. I didn't really care about anybody here. Or even when we get into characters like Kurt, I thought him stealing those files and being so downtrodden would come in a little bit stronger and not just be so much a plot device for MājGAN to murder him in the end. I thought he had sent them files off somewhere, child, and it's just like, hey, even though MājGAN is dead here, in the end, this other tech company has them and she's going to be on shelves. I thought we were going to go that route. I just really didn't feel like we used that and got the payoff that we wanted. And lastly, the whole character arc of Gemma as a whole. Like, I thought that the beginning of this film was really strong, and then once we got to the end, everything just got really rushed. Like, we need to wrap things up. We need to, redeem Gemma and make her a great character now. We already have Katie going from 0 to 10 being a rebellious kid. Like, I didn't understand at some moments how they kind of treated Katie as if she was maybe all of 5 or maybe not even any older than 6, when she clearly looks a little older than that. The little incident with the therapist and oh, roll the ball. I'm like, why are we rolling the ball? She's not fucking 3. Like, that kind of threw me off. But just how we have her go from 0 to, oh, I am slapping bitches down. I'm about to attack you with these scissors if you don't get MājGAN back here, the kicking of the back seat. But in the same breath of the same day, we have her be so connected and so forgiving and understanding of Gemma that we are willing to take MājGAN down. Like, this all happened in the same night. I just felt like it was really rushed. And then when we get into Gemma still wasn't shit at the end of the movie. Like, with how horrible she was, I thought that we were gonna have, this really strong redemption of her and really have her connect with Katie so we could connect with her and just understand, hey, she do want to be, that maternal figure and really care about Katie. No, like, to have her in the end just kind of relinquish, once again, relinquish responsibility of MÊGAN and, you know, just have a simple phone call and she just leaves like, oh, I understand now, you're all that matters and this is it. But we don't really come full circle and have her really go, you know what, something is wrong with MÊGAN. She has been catching bodies, you know, something is malfunctioning. We cannot have her presented out to the world on shelves for millions like shit is gonna go down. MÊGAN needs to be deactivated. No, it's just like, yeah, just, you know, go on, run it up, do that, unplug some stuff, I'm going home. Like, what? We just have her go home and we have, you know, MὲGAN, of course, come and find them and we have the final showdown. Like, I was like, do we really want to leave Katie with her? Like, I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel the connection. I thought it was just overnight and it was just, I felt like it could have ended better. I do love the message in the end of I believe the text name was Billy or Bruce. And it's just like, we don't need to relinquish all responsibility to AI and just have them be so technologically advanced that we get into a situation like MὲGAN, whereas we have Bruce, you know, I can move him. We are working together with the technology to, you know, save ourselves because she wouldn't die. She was a T-1000. Ain't nothing going down. I'm the mom. Like, I like the ending, but it was just like, I still don't give a damn about Gemma. I do not care about Gemma, and it was just really, really rushed. But that does not, you know, take away from what I liked about this movie and me probably watching it again. Should you watch it? I think so. Well, you guys, that was my review for MὲGAN. I hope you enjoyed it. Please drop down and tell me what you thought about my review and what you thought about this movie as a whole. Did you enjoy it? Would you watch it again? Or did you feel like, I thought it was a cute movie to, of course, take my kids to and just hang out. And it kind of exceeded my expectations because I didn't expect a whole lot, child. I was like, you just come on, we're going to the movies. But it turned out being worth my time. I look forward to reading you guys' comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Bye.